So
I want 2.5% now.
Yeah.
Of your 2.5%.
Yeah.
We're all getting percentage if you get this
I
stuff.
don't think he's going to get it.
He's going to get it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 10. Actually, happy we made it this far.
Double digits, baby.
Double digits. Episode 10 of the Price to Sell podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Campoli. And today, we bring on a really special guest,
Ooh.
Mr. Luxury Niagara himself,
Yes.
Andrew Perri.
Thanks,
Welcome, my
guys.
friend.
Yeah, I appreciate
Thanks
you
for
having me
coming.
on, man. We
Pleasure's
were
mine.
downtown Toronto for my first time in probably like 2 years.
Oh, so it's been that long?
Yeah, well, you know what? Like before COVID, I only had one kid,
Okay.
and now I've got 3 kids. If you want to do the math on that for anybody watching at home, so I had lots
It's
more.
July 2021.
So I had a lot of free time, and I would come and meet a few buddies, you know, go see the Jays. I always used to go see the home openers.
Yeah.
And so when that closed down, I hadn't been back here, so I'm happy to be back.
Well, we welcome you back
Thanks.
in the scorching heat.
Yeah,
And
I
shout
know.
out to
I
your-
got my cotton blazer. I'm doing like a Zuckerberg thing now.
Okay.
Like where I used to wear like, you know, I think you had Dave Hutchinson on.
Yeah.
Like full suit. That used to be me.
Yeah.
And then I think like, you know, over the last couple of years, I just like,
It's like the Gary Vee kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man.
One last thing I need to worry about in the morning.
It's very true.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
with me, there's a lot to worry about in the morning.
I think that our business is slowly shifting away from, depending on the demographic.
Yeah.
You know, you
I
have
totally
the luxury
agree.
side.
Like, you know, sneakers, right?
Yeah.
Skinny jeans. What's
That's
better
it.
than that? You don't need a
Nothing.
full 3-piece suit.
Tattoos.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
you
Full
got 'em too.
sleeves. Full sleeves,
Love
baby.
it.
And a chest piece too. But
Love it.
It might be a PG podcast. I don't know.
We'll keep it PG. So, give everyone a little bio as to who you are,
Yeah.
what
yeah.
you do, areas you service, who you're working with.
Yeah. So I have a team called the Fine Estates team in Niagara on the Lake. So our home base is situated in Niagara on the Lake. That's where I live. You know, my kids go to school there. Majority of my business is focused there. I'm also with independent brokerage called Revel Realty.
Yep.
Revel Realty, we've been in business now just close to 7 years.
Okay.
And in that time, we started with 4 agents, no offices. It was out of a garage. Ryan and Nikki Saravelli. They're the owners, and now we've got 220 realtors
Oh, wow.
in 11 plus. I say plus because there's always one in the background.
Yeah.
Our latest being Muskoka.
Very cool. I saw
yeah,
that.
yeah. So we've been just absolutely crushing it, and you know we do service the entire Niagara region. I have a team, and you know we service as far as Hamilton right down to Fort Erie. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I want to touch upon the team.
Yep.
Because you've had experience prior to the current one you,
yes,
right?
yeah,
Especially because a lot of our listeners and viewers are other agents.
Yeah,
Maybe
perfect.
looking to start up a team or get a little insight as to what it's like to build a team.
yeah.
So tell us about your past experience and then
Yeah.
how that helped.
So here's the thing. When I first started real estate, it was very much like I viewed the industry as something totally different. So I said, look at this guy. If he could do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because, you know, I went against every coach. All their advice that they said about starting a team, I basically said, I think I know more than you.
Yeah.
So I started the team about a year into the business.
Yeah.
And right away, I'm like, you know what? Because I was pretty high up with a company called LA Fitness, and
Yeah.
we learned how to structure our business, structure our teams, and I took all that information, and I'm like, yo, I can do this, and it's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
I was dead wrong. And yes, I had some of the systems in place, but I didn't have the capital behind me.
Yeah.
I didn't have an assistant first, which, you know, if anybody's out there who's wondering if they should start a team or not, get an assistant first. Do that first. Don't go rush to get a buyer's agent unless you've got tons and tons of overflow.
Yeah.
Then sort something out at 50-50 or something, then go from there. But I didn't do any of that. I just took a group of guys, 3, who, you know, we were good friends. Some of them, you know, had just started in the business. And, you know, I just thought, okay, well, if I just put a whole bunch of money behind, you know, companies like Agent Locator,
Yeah.
you know, online marketing leads and stuff like that, we're going to be okay. And you know what? I was just so unprepared, and we completely failed we packed up the team within 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So don't go behind what everybody tells you not to do and just say, yeah, I think I know better, and just do it. So I always follow those who have been there, made the mistakes, because by the time I started the Fine Estates Team 2.0, I was fully ready to go, and we've never looked back since.
Amazing. So, and I'm currently in that process. So I'm learning right now. Thank you.
There we go.
I've heard it, like admin, most importantly first. Get that whole foundation set up and then build upon that. So I'll ask you more questions off the books after.
Absolutely. I love it.
So, okay. Very, very cool. So you guys are killing it in Niagara.
Yes.
And your focus obviously is luxury there.
That's right.
Correct?
Yep.
So talk to us about why Niagara is so special.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I always wondered that myself. Growing up, I really didn't know much about Niagara Falls other than Clifton Hill.
Okay.
You know, and all those, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Wax Museum, stuff
there.
like that. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because when I moved there, because we opened up an LA Fitness there, and so I was the GM of that club, and you know, everybody was like behind my back, were like, "Oh, he got the Niagara Falls Club," and nobody else would take it. And you know what? I went there. I actually met my wife because I hired her to be a salesperson. Cool. So, anyways, that's another story. But she basically helped me see and find the things about Niagara that most would miss, which is now obviously the reason that's a huge contributor to why so many people are flocking there right now. It's the rolling hills, it's the wineries, it's the trendy restaurants and bake shops. It's the fact that Niagara was so, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but Niagara was a little blah for so long. It wasn't until the last 5-7 years or so where, you know, people started investing in the downtown core in St. Catharines, investing in Niagara Falls with, you know, more big box stores. Fort Erie is absolutely just exploding right now because the land was so cheap for so long. And what I found about Niagara was that, you know, it's just a little bit of a different lifestyle. I grew up in Churchill, Ontario, 200 people, but it's accompanied by Innisfil and Barrie, Ontario, where, you know, I think the combination of everything, 500,000 people, there's a much more fast-paced life. Where Niagara, it's you know, in Niagara-on-the-Lake specifically, the average age is like 60, 65. So I'm still having fun where I am, of course, because these people like to party. But it's just one of those lifestyles that's just, hey, chill. Relax. We've got organic fruit over here.
That's awesome.
We've got wineries over here, and we've got restaurants that are just utilizing the trends on social media and just kind of, you know, we've actually had a few being listed on like Nar City, BlogTO. Actually, a funny story. I've always wanted to get into BlogTO and Nar City, and I did.
Okay.
My butt.
Oh, nice.
Ever heard of a pedal pub?
No.
So it's this big, basically bike with 12 seats on it.
Okay.
And there's a keg, and they serve beer.
Oh, I have heard of that. Yes, I know exactly. Right? Yes.
And BlogTO shared it. I'm like, hey, there's me. I finally made it. I'm like, oh, that's just my butt. So to answer your question more directly, it's just
I brought you on here for that.
That's how you heard about me? The butt, right? The blue pants,
I brought you on for the butt.
So the whole thing is like, honestly, it's just one of those lifestyles that people are just they're just so attracted to.
Yeah, it sounds incredible.
It is. You got to come down. You got to come.
I do, and experience it properly because
their family has a winery here, so I love it, man. It's great for networking, bringing other agents down and exploring and having some wine and some fun at the same time.
I would love that. So for an investor's point of view,
yes.
Why is Niagara such a good investment? Because it's very common. It's talked about a lot. You know what I mean? In terms of investment and growth. So, I know the GO train's going to be there soon. Yeah.
So the here's the thing. Niagara is still one of the lowest places in terms of home value to purchase within about a 1.5 to 2 hour radius of Toronto.
Yeah.
So the value is still there. I invest in Niagara. For example, picked up a fourplex in November. That's when we signed the deal. Didn't close till January.
Perfect
Bought
timing.
For $540.
Yeah.
I didn't even see half the units. I only saw 2. So just based on where I knew the property was at as to where it could be.
Yep.
And the rents at that time, you know, renovated too. Now it's worth $800.
Wow.
And I'm getting about $4,500 a month from it. So every unit on average is paying about $1,200 to $1,300, and they're only 1 bedrooms. One has 2 bedrooms, but they're very, very small.
That's incredible.
So the value is there because, you know, the positive cash flow what people are paying per month is very, very surprising. Like I was just talking to one of my other friends who works down here, and he's a lease agent, and he's saying, like, you know, you're getting 500, 600 square feet, and they're renting out for 2,000, maybe more, right? But depending on where you are. And I'm like, honestly, like, that's fairly comparable to Niagara. You're only getting maybe 15, 16, 17. So it's an incredible place to put your money because you're still getting some positive cash flow.
Yes.
If you're going down there to buy a single family home, there's not much really to work with positive cash flow. But, you know, if you're coming from Toronto, I don't think many investors in Toronto have had positive cash flow for a while, right?
No, it's
all
been
about,
hard.
like people come down and say, hey, nothing other than a 7% cap rate. I'm like, what are you talking about? Go back to 1995, you might find something like that, or go buy a commercial plaza, right?
Yeah.
So Niagara still has these amazing opportunities down, but you mentioned the GO train.
Yep.
So right around that area, Bridge Street, that's where I bought my property. People, the locals, it's so funny. You got Niagara is like, oh, I'm not going to pay for that there. My Aunt Susan bought a house there for $50,000. No way I'm spending $600,000 for that. Okay, I'll do it and I'll rent it out and I'll make the money.
Exactly.
So if you know the pockets, there's tons of positive cash flow left in the region.
Okay, amazing. I'm gonna talk to you about this later too.
Yeah, see?
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, there we go. Wealth of knowledge over here.
It is. Toronto's tough, man, with especially rental rates coming down because of COVID.
Yep.
Prices took a bit of a hit. Now they're slowly poaching back to where they used to be. But just with the maintenance fees and everything, it's really hard to cash flow.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Double line transfer tax, like all around, it's just a lot. It's a lot. So getting familiar with these outside pockets, especially a hub like Niagara, I think is really important for people who are listening or watching.
And
take some
Sudbury's,
notes.
I don't want a little hidden gem.
Okay,
Sudbury's.
tell us.
It's very similar to Niagara in the fact that although it has less people, it's not as much work as there is in Niagara, but the rents are very similar and the property values are still lower. Yeah, like we were looking at an 8-plex there for $900.
Oh wow!
You do a little bit of work, but your rent is at least $1,000 a door there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like this.
Little tidbit for you.
Okay, we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now I want to just get into the luxury side. This is your specialty.
Please, yeah.
This is
Love
where
it.
Andrew thrives.
Yeah.
So number one, luxury market in Niagara. What pockets, like what areas are? Where do you have your main focus? And then how did you break into that? Because you've been in this fifth year now, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people either will never even tackle luxury because they think it's hard to get and penetrate. But clearly you've done it in such a quick time. So
well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Glad somebody's seeing my value.
I do.
So here's the thing, I give this advice to a lot of different businesses that are starting up, especially realtors, obviously. But the thing about being successful in 2021 is that you really do need to find a niche, and you need to double down on that niche. Where when I first joined, social media was still super, super huge. But in terms of Niagara, nobody was really doing video. So I saw a hole there, and especially in the luxury industry. And I always told, my mentor, the broker owner, and I always said, look, Niagara on the Lake's where I want to be. Luxury is what I want to sell. And every single person, why would you want to single yourself out like that? People are going to see your marketing, think that you only sell luxury, which we don't. We sell absolutely everything. Yeah. We've had a few people say, oh, I didn't know that. I thought you only did luxury. But the bigger picture stuff, it hasn't affected our brand, our team's brand. But I always dedicated myself that this industry, this little pocket in Niagara on the Lake is where I wanted to focus, because I saw a hole, as I mentioned, in the industry with not only marketing but service. It was half the realtors don't answer their phone here. You see the thumbnail in the photo when they're uploading to MLS.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not here to put down how you run your business, but I know that the way I market myself, the way I can market your home, my client concierge service alone will just blow everybody out of the water. So although you're starting, 2 feet behind where everybody else is when they're just selling residential homes, single detached, I knew that there was a massive opportunity for a guy like me to kind of take a stranglehold on that market.
That's amazing. And you mentioned to me yesterday before the podcast, but tell us a little bit about this concierge, because it sounded, I think it's pretty genius.
So I up until we started our own, we run our office for Revel Realty in Niagara on the Lake. So me and my partner, Evan McDonald, Jesse McDonald, husband-wife team. Up until then, my business, 85% agent-to-agent referrals.
Yeah.
So when somebody gets in front of me from out of town, you're not just how I am perceived in that first moment. It's not just a reflection of me, it's a reflection on the agent that is referring me as well.
Yes.
So I took it upon myself at a very early state to say, okay, so why are they moving to Niagara on the Lake? Same question you asked me. Okay, wineries, lifestyle, how can I accommodate and sell that dream? Because I'll be honest with you, Niagara on the Lake's home values, everybody thinks Niagara's so cheap, so cheap, so cheap. When they come to Niagara on the Lake, they say, okay, well, if this house is $2 million, I could just stay in Toronto for $2 million and still have granite countertops, really nice, maybe a parking spot.
Yes. Yeah, maybe.
But, right?
To get lucky.
So where you if the house wasn't going to sell it,
Yeah.
I needed to sell it. So
very
when I
cool.
meet these people for the first time, I'm giving them a bottle of wine from my wife's family winery.
Yes.
I'm giving them a magazine that's Homes and Land, where we market our houses, so they can see a variety of different homes.
Yeah.
I also give them a gift card to we love Willow Bake Shop in Niagara on the Lake, as well as Budapest Bake Shop. They do chimney cakes. Willow does like custom cakes and cupcakes. And it's a great way to introduce them to the market. And so that's step one, right? So it's very basic with a handwritten card. And then once we teamed up with Evan and Jesse, they bought the building and they bought an Airbnb right beside the building. So if we have people that are coming from Dubai, overseas, Toronto even, they want to spend the night.
Yeah.
Not only if they're flying in, we'll pick them up in a car. If they are flying from overseas into Toronto, we'll order. They're not really running so much right now, but we'll order them a flight. It's only about 12 minutes from Pearson to here, to Niagara on the Lake. So we'll add that as a value-added service. We'll allow them to stay in the Airbnb for free. We'll take them around, champagne, our coffee machine that we talked about. So There's all these little things that we help build these stronger relationships so that, these people are doing a lot of business, and it's not just the buy. Maybe they find a vacation rental that they want to invest in a few years down the road.
Yeah.
So it's all about leaving that lasting impression. We cut their grass, we stage, we have contacts for basically every different type of tradespeople, windows, pods, and we clean the house for them and everything like that, right? So we want to make sure that everything's included. We want to show them the value for that commission, because there's a lot of people, a lot of different business structures that we don't need to talk about, that we just need to show them why we're charging this much.
Exactly. And I love that you sell the lifestyle, because
that's huge. We take them for lunch, everything.
Yeah, that's incredible. Because
especially
especially
on the tandem bike together around to the
get a picture of your butt on Narcity, part of the package.
Yeah,
very cool.
Hey, you're that guy with the butt on Narcity, right?
This is the butt guy, everyone.
Yeah.
So you know.
I need to work out if that's going to be my thing.
So you mentioned you were 85%.
Yeah,
referrals,
roughly about 85%.
Agent to agent.
Yeah, it juggles between 80 and 85. Yeah.
How important is that for you?
Very.
Okay.
Very. So from very early on in my career, I knew that I'm moving to an area where nobody knows me. And it was just natural for me to basically market, kind of like this show a little bit, market to other realtors. It was just natural.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm an overly flashy guy, which my audience who's watching might disagree. But in my opinion, I'm holding back a lot. But that appeals to other agents.
Definitely.
And when I first came into the industry, nobody was doing video like me, nobody. And it was, I was getting messages, Andrew, who do you use as a videographer?
Yes.
Andrew, who's your online marketing guy? And then now I after the show, I'll probably have about 10 messages from different realtors all around the world asking me for recommendations. And that's kind of how it started.
Yes.
And actually, how it really got started and I got my name out there was on Real Estate Hacks, which is a group on Facebook, which I'm one of the admins of, started by Jill Price. I learned how to use Photoshop. And so I said, hey, who wants to send me their headshot? I'll cut out the background and I'll add you to your own kind of blurred out kitchen, blurred out living room, and I'll put your logo on it and I'll send it to you for free. Didn't I get 500 responses?
Holy.
Right? So, I got 500 agents' emails
Yeah.
And now I can add them to my list.
Yeah.
And 500 new connections.
Yeah.
Cons, I didn't do anything for 3 days other than remove the background from people's headshots
Yeah.
and plaster them on.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give you our total value number because I just don't want to say something wrong. But yeah, about 80% of my total business this year alone has been directly contributed to agent referrals.
Yeah.
So I take it extremely seriously. And you know what? I try to work with them personally one-on-one
Yep.
as much as I can. You know, this market this last year has been insane. So trying to handle every single one, like my entire team, we all share everything.
Yes.
Right. So I try to keep them within my circle as best as I can. And I think that's the number one difference, where half the people, you know, that get tagged online, you send them something, you don't hear anything back.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, they oh, how's it going? Oh, I sent that off to one of our junior sales reps. Why?
Yeah.
It's okay if you did that, but give me a heads up.
For
so
sure.
I think the importance to having a business like that is communication, keeping the other agent updated. Hey, by the way, I met your clients. Thank you very much. Hey, by the way, we're submitting an offer. Hey, by the way, it went firm. Hey, by the way, here's your commission check.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think having realtor relationships is huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
Many of us or people on the outside may think it's a competition all the time.
That's right.
I always like to say it's co-opetition. And
Co-opetition.
that's
I
why I
like
love doing this podcast, because I get to meet my first time
Yeah.
meeting you. We've been Instagram friends for a long time.
Yep.
Always, you know, kudos to each other, hitting each other up,
Absolutely.
supporting, which I love too.
Right.
Just to have that support from someone
Right.
you don't even know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think it's super important. What you're doing is awesome. Now I want to dig into social media.
Okay.
So you have in your bio, you are ranked number 1 social media for 2020.
Yes.
Tell us about that. How did you achieve this?
So, first off, just so there's a full disclosure, that number one, I've been ranked on multiple different blogs,
Yeah,
you know,
likewise.
right? So, and I've been number one on those types of things. But the reason why I put that stat in my bio is because it means a lot to me. That was as voted by all Niagara regional realtors.
Oh, wow.
So this is not buyers and sellers, my audience, people I know through real estate hacks or in the real estate world. This is actual, what did you say? Co-competitors? Co-opetition. That's my co-opetition.
Yeah.
Giving me props for the job that I've done.
Yeah.
And I do that through, you know what, there's so many different things that these experts say, and in they're right. I'm sure they're right. But I honestly just, and I don't want to say that it comes natural, but it does. It's just, I don't stick to any type of plan. You know, I try to post 1 to 3 times a day, over 20 stories.
Yeah.
I keep my stories for my more personal side, my family, what's going on,
Which I like.
upcoming listings.
Yeah.
Where my gallery is more for IGTV, Reels, obviously, and some professional photos. Everybody thinks that I have, a professional photographer following me around, which is true. But I only do that once a season, right?
Yeah.
So I think having a brand image from a professional quality level is super important.
Yep.
Where some people kill it at just being raw and real and just using their phone. Where that's not the route I take, but I also don't overdo it and just do just sold. Just if you look at my own personal account,
Yep.
there's no just listed, just sold, none of that.
Yeah.
It's all on my team's account, which
Yes.
which I consider my team account is our business card.
Yes.
So if you want to see the actual quality and production that we do, head to that account. If you want to follow our content, head to our Revel on the Lake page or our A. Perri page.
Yeah.
Where, I'm not like, my name isn't our team name. It's a collaborative effort. However, my account has the largest following, right? I think we're up to 22,000 followers now.
Yeah.
So we try to keep that as related to the business on some type of higher standard level.
Yes.
But it's all about a variety, man, and it's all about connecting with people like you as well to help kind of boost each other's accounts up just by way of collaboration.
Yeah, exactly. Helping engage with each other.
Absolutely.
So what do you think helps attribute to a success for a realtor online to stand above the crowd, to get that organic growth? Like what should a realtor be doing?
One thing that has really helped me a lot, and what I'm seeing a lot of other realtors not do, is that they're constantly on. If you go to my page, I'm on, but sometimes I'm wearing, a little dress shirt, but usually I'm posting something like this. but then you also see me doing the splits on my skateboard.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm trying to show you my business side, but also what I do on the day to day. Because the problem is like I was always considering real estate and professionalism as this whole thing. You know, you don't necessarily see behind the curtain. Where now I'm realizing it just like clicked when I posted a skateboard video or I bought a skateboard, and I got so many messages. You skate too? This is, you know, John from Burlington.
Yeah,
He sells
yeah.
$100 million a year. You're seeing realtors from the States. My buddy Bryce from San Diego. And it's like, people want to see that.
Yes,
They're like,
they do.
wow, you skateboard? Wow, you rap? I don't rap, but some, you know, I know
Yeah.
some realtors that rap, and like if they just posted more of that, it would be like, that's really cool. You don't need to make your whole social media brand about that, but you just throw in these little tastes of your personality that people can relate to. People forget, man. We're all the same age.
We're human.
We all grew up watching
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
We all
same
grew up
music.
skateboarding.
Yes.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And you just drop a little hint like, hey, that Biggie song came on. I really
Yeah.
love it. And then next thing you know, you got all these soccer moms. I love that song.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's just one of those things, man, that where you just got to think that everybody out there is human. The professional standards are changing.
Yep.
And, you know, we have tattoos. We've got,
Which I love.
You know, we skateboard and you know, I play some guitar, and I throw that out there too. I think too much of something hurts you.
Yes.
And if I was just posting guitar videos all day, you wouldn't even know I'm a realtor.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's got to be about balance as well.
1000%.
Right? Yeah.
I agree fully. And even just have, like, you post something that catches someone's attention, like, oh, Andrew does this.
Yep.
Boom, conversation starts.
Exactly.
That leads to them getting to learn about you and know you a little better.
Absolutely.
And ultimately leads to more business.
I
So,
totally agree. And people want, we're at an age where we're like going through this nostalgic, you know, years of our lives where
Yeah.
we hear something and we're like, wow, man, I remember high school. Or we see something and we're like, Saturday morning cartoon, like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's how I have been connecting with a lot of people lately, is through those types of means. Like, wow, Dunkaroos are coming back. I'll
Yeah.
comment, or where'd you get those, right? And
Yeah.
it just connects people, because I don't want to get like too deep on this podcast here, but you know, we got one life, and in cherishing those moments, I've just been loving it, and I've been loving people posting those types of content from their childhood. It's just really cool to see.
Yeah. I feel like there's been a disconnect
Yeah.
between people through social media. And I think
agree.
COVID has actually brought us all together and just allowed us to be like, maybe it might have been a wake up call because
I
of
think
COVID,
so.
but it's more just like, screw it. I'm going to be myself
love
now.
it.
I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to, you know, be vulnerable, whatever
Yeah.
it is. And it's been an interesting shift.
And I think that's basically when I transitioned into buying all these nice suits and to like just wearing these t-shirts.
Same, man.
Because that's how I feel now. And it's
Yeah.
like, guys, we need to get along, and we need to just get all the negativity out. Let's just have some fun.
That's it.
Life's about fun.
It is.
And I love that. And I'm seeing a lot. It's basically reflecting in people's posts these days.
I agree. So as we come to an end here, I do want to bring up, because we did have some fans reach out.
I can't
So
believe
I do
people
got
are,
some questions lined up for
Yeah.
you from our Instagram.
Yeah.
So
All right. These were secret questions, by the
secret
way.
questions. So he's about to be on the spot here. First one, and my favorite.
Yeah. Do we get to know who?
No,
Okay.
you
All
might figure it out soon.
All right. All right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, was Dave Hutchinson as handsome as expected? Asking for a friend.
I got to give a 9.8.
9.8. Okay.
Yeah. 9.8.
Okay. Was his clothing on point today?
It was on point.
Okay.
It was on point. It's just there was this little piece of his hair
Yeah.
that was sticking up,
Ah,
like around the
that was
part.
it.
I'm like, man, that would have been a solid 10.
Yeah.
But that happened, and you can't walk it back now.
Dave, take notes. Figure it out, buddy. Comb your hair. And that was him, obviously.
You
asking
would have
that.
blamed it on the streetcar.
Another question.
Yep.
This one is, how did you manage to scale your social media so large?
The biggest thing is that if you go to my followers, 50% of them or more are all realtors.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you know, being the one that kind of, and again, I'm not going to say I pioneered anything, but I just took what Toronto, New York, California was doing,
Yep.
and I just made it my own in Niagara, and nobody had seen anything like that. And you know, when everybody was doing listing videos, I transitioned into lifestyle videos. When everybody started doing lifestyle videos, I transitioned into vlogs. So it was always just trying to stay one step ahead of what the trend was, so that I could get more attention. And I think that's how I build up my following base, because most of them, like I said, they just want to reach out to me and figure out what I'm doing. So they're watching for ideas. Same reason why I watch Ryan Serhant, Gary Vee.
Best.
Right?
Yeah.
That's exactly
Ryan's
the same
my
reason.
guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love him. The last question. What's one of the key differences when marketing yourself as a luxury agent? One key difference.
And again, we kind of talked about this, but I mean, like, you can't be afraid to be a little flashy, in my opinion. In my opinion, some people hearing this might not agree. You got to be yourself, but you also have to know the audience. You have to know what it takes, and just being conscious of that while adding your own personal flair is something that's super important to distinguish you. You know, you're not, maybe you are, but you're not going to be that go-to luxury agent when you show up in a Honda. You just aren't. You might, and there's nothing against a Honda, but if you want to break into that, you've got to be all in.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of capital behind you. So
and first impressions.
First impressions are key.
Like your service?
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And it's not, like I said, it's not like you have to be in a full suit, but you do have to look presentable. Like, I'm even a little embarrassed about the shag that I've got going on.
We're going to buzz it right after the show.
Yeah. Price to sell 2.0.
Barber edition.
Barber edition.
Well,
Price to cut.
Again, this has been a fantastic episode. Ton of value, including for myself as well. So thank you.
Yep.
What is next for you, and where can everyone find you?
Oh, well, you know what? What's next is getting my brand replicated in multiple different markets, and following Revel's trend on opening in different areas that are unique and up and coming. And I want to take it national. Take it international.
Love it.
You love Ryan. I love Ryan Serhant as well. Something like that for, the Canadians. We're going to have a little, what was the name? Competition. Where, we're going to have some of that.
Yeah.
Because I want to be that Ryan Serhant of Canada.
Yeah,
and
man.
That's my goal. And to follow that journey, you guys can all head over to @Perri on Instagram.
Beautiful.
Just do that. That's the easiest.
Beautiful. We're going to drop all your information and details in our descriptions as well.
Love it.
But again, thank you for coming on. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I did. So it was a pleasure. This is episode 10, Price to Sell podcast. Matthew Campoli, Andrew Perri. Like, subscribe, share, tell your parents, grandparents, all of them.
Don't forget to hit the notification bell.
Hit the bell.
Yeah.
Ding, ding. Pleasure. Everyone take care.